do you think a person needs to be provided with in order to easily live to be 100 years old, or even to reach the threshold of 200 years old? And why is the topic of eternal youth mostly of interest to rich people these days? Do they know something that we don't? Today we'll find out together. In this episode, I'll share with you the most important and interesting achievements of modern science, thanks to which the richest people in the world are going to live forever. Today, the maximum human life expectancy is about 83 to 85 years, and it's reached only in a number of first world countries, particularly in Japan, Sweden, and Singapore. The longest-lived people reached about 115 to 120 years, although it was not always possible to verify the exact age of all of them. Average life expectancy around the world is 71 years, but some scientists believe that it can be increased by at least 1.5 to 2 times. Healthy adults, provided with everything they need, will be able to live much longer than today's average people. Stem cells. Many believe that stem cells are one of the most effective methods of fighting and aging. Simply put, such a cell is capable of becoming any other cell in the body. Stem cells can become blood cells, heart tissue, skin cells, muscle cells, and even brain cells. One of their main features is the ability to self-renew or increase their number in the body. Grafted into the damaged area of the body, stem cells are able to replace the missing original cells of the body. So this kind of treatment is widely practiced in athletes. But stem cells are very expensive. In the United States, where this type of treatment is most popular, the price of surgery to graft cells ranges on average from $8,000 to $30,000. A single injection of cells may cost $1,000, but a full course of treatment often costs $100,000 or more. The astronomical prices are due to the specific field of medicine. Not all insurance companies in the U.S. are willing to include stem cell surgery in their list of coverage. The most expensive beauty medication. Surprised by the prices in the cosmetic stores? Believe me, this is not the limit. The most expensive beauty product in the world can be purchased only by the real rich. It was created by biochemist Jürgen Klein. After years of tests and experiments, JK7 Rejuvenating Serum Lotion was presented to the world. At first glance, there's nothing unusual about the new serum, but a closer look at the composition reveals that the purest and therefore most expensive essential oils, worth up to $20,000 per liter, were used in the production. The creators of the serum are asking $1,800 for 30 milliliters, which automatically makes the serum the most expensive anti-aging medication in the world. According to the manufacturers, it can stop the aging process in the skin, smooth out deep wrinkles, completely realign facial tone, and increase elasticity by restoring collagen and elastin. To create this elixir, Jürgen Klein conducted 10 years of research, testing nearly 70 natural ingredients that were handpicked and processed at the family-owned manufacturing facility in Hawaii. Production of each ounce of product requires a lengthy process involving 3 biologists. But perhaps the most interesting fact was Jürgen Klein's claim that during the research process, it was unexpectedly revealed that tropical mangosteen extract, one of the serum's ingredients, showed resistance to malignant melanoma and even cancer cells. However, such claims should not be relied upon heavily. Young blood. The new method of rejuvenation was clearly borrowed from the legends of vampires. The essence is simple. By transfusing blood into the body of an elderly person, the hemoglobin of a young donor is transferred. According to scientists, for such transfusions, the blood of healthy young donors aged 16 to 25 years fits perfectly. You may become the recipient of young blood if you are at least 35 years old. But does this method really work? In laboratory studies, transfusions have had a beneficial effect on the bodies of mice, but the results of tests on humans are still inconclusive. Not to mention the fact that continuous blood transfusions carry potential risks for the whole body of the recipient. Nevertheless, there are several medical companies on the world market providing such services. One of them, with the speaking name Ambrosia, has been providing its services for several years. However, transfusions are not cheap. For 2 liters of young blood, one has to pay about $8,000. Scientists have widely divergent opinions about how much longer life can be achieved in this century. However, many scientists believe that by the end of the 21st century, people will be able to live several times longer than they do now. But thanks to what will mankind be able to achieve this? Stay tuned to learn about more details. Virtual consciousness. It seems that the idea of transferring the human mind into virtual reality has been described by science fiction writers 1,000 times already. But is it really possible? And will it be possible to download the human mind into a robot? Futurologist Ian Pearson believes that in the future it will be possible, and by 2050 the transfusion of consciousness from the human body into an artificial body may become a mainstream. In our days, scientists searching for answers about eternal life for our consciousness have begun to receive grants of hundreds of thousands of dollars. By the way, in America, one way to reliably preserve the brain has already been invented, except that it's lethal. In order to get the desired result, a substance must be injected into the brain, which in fact will turn living tissue into glass. The hardened brain will be preserved until future times when technology will be invented to scan and transfer the brain to an artificial environment. Millions against aging. Many of the richest people in the world have long ago established investments in companies that specialize in slowing down and even reversing aging. And I'm talking about things much more serious than the development of rejuvenating cosmetics. One such company is Calico. It was founded relatively recently in 2013, but it's financed by Google itself. Calico also receives additional investment from pharmaceutical companies, allowing them to spend $1.5 billion on research. Another similar company founded in 2011 is Unity Biotechnology. The list of millionaires and billionaires who transfer money to the company is truly impressive. Amazon creator Jeff Bezos and PayPal founder Peter Thiel have invested over $300 million in the company. Many of these investors hope for a revolution in medicine, the so-called biohacking, which will allow them to defeat the natural aging process and live hundreds of years. Famous biohacker Dave Asprey, for example, has made millions from his own brand Bulletproof. This biohacking product is a special coffee. The man hopes to live at least 180 years. However, everything is not limited to coffee alone. Asprey spent a large sum of money on his innovative gym. In total, his own desire to live as long as possible has already cost him millions of dollars. Benefit is in minor things. How can we even talk about an eternal life if access to health and wholesome foods is only available to those with above-average incomes? For those who do not believe that a salary can significantly affect one's eating habits, take a closer look. Over the past 25 years, people's eating habits as a whole have gotten noticeably better. Healthy eating has become fashionable, but not everyone can devote the lion's share of their time to read books about what to eat and how to eat it. Add to this the fact that in recent years, the prices of food that form the very foundation of any healthy diet have increased. On the contrary, the price of convenience foods and ready meals, which contain a lot of harmful substances, is practically not increasing. Forecast for the future. But what is really the ideal human lifespan? And how long can rich people live these days? Experts from the University of Washington calculated the expectations of Americans in terms of their life expectancy and were shocked by the results. The difference in expectations differs critically, even in American states that are close to each other. In Colorado, for example, life expectancy averaged 88 years, while in South Dakota and North Dakota, the figure was much lower, only 66 years. Cryogenics. Cryogenics is a modern technology that makes it possible to preserve animals and humans in a state of deep freezing. For a long time it was banned, but at the beginning of the new millennium, a number of countries lifted the ban on freezing bodies. Theoretically, freezing is supposed to be done in the hope that in the future, people could be rejuvenated and cured of all diseases. But there's a catch. The fact is that today's cryogenic freezing of people, as well as large animals, cannot be reversible. This means that once you preserve them, you can't revive them in the future. Why? Because cryogenic freezing of a person only occurs after their legally recorded death. Otherwise, it would be considered a crime. That's all, guys. Would you like to live forever? Let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching and see you later.